Jat, Link, and Aframu, the analyst desk, to walk us through Cloud9 Tempest's win.
All right, thank you, Freak. Coming into this one, Aframu predicted the Cloud9 Tempest win. It's now 1-1. It's like a best of 3 start of the new. Why'd you pick that? How'd they win?
Cloud9 Tempest really stepped up this game. Has stepped up, and actually Cloud9 did a very impressive move when they held the top tower. And one of the things they reminded me of was Monty had us read Sun Tzu's Art of War book, where one of the major points in that book is where you thwart your opponent's strategy, and C9 did a very good job by holding the top tower, and EG really wanted to go for an objective-focused game, and they stopped that, and then EG just looked like they didn't know what to do after that.
Yeah, it was a really awkward-looking opening because, I mean, Yuzuki went top lane, got towered over, but no turrets fell. How did that really play into the laning phase of the game, Link?
So it was kind of weird because Altec was basically 1v1ing the Lee Sin for pretty much the entire game.
Yeah.
And it was like a Ryze Thresh versus like a EG's bottom lane. So it's like this weird mixture of events where Altec's pretty much like the top laner now, and he's just kind of like, just farming, and all he cares about is CS and making sure that he's up above Yellow Pete, and that kind of. Like, to be honest, Altec really did not do anything this game.
Yeah.
But, like, all that happened was Kaz pretty much made the plays. He made the plays with Ryze and Thresh, and they got 1 billion kills. Ryze got super farmed, and then Soraka held mid lane. And if Soraka is ever farmed and, she's doing well, she hasn't died. That's, like, the #1 rule on Soraka, is to never die mid lane. That's all you have to do. And once you're scaling, like, lanes get really strong, like Ryze and Corki, then they just pretty much become unkillable.
Yeah, it was a 1-0-16 Bishu on Soraka, 3-1-11 on Kez, which is much better than his performance in the last game. And also, Snoopy was not finding his way in a lot of these games. Do you want to talk a little bit about Snoopy, Afro?
Usually it's hit or miss when Snoopy is ganking early game. If he gets the first gank off and it's successful, then he can snowball it into a lead for his team. But if it fails, then Snoopy is nowhere to be found after it fails.
Yeah, he had the one early death, and then also there was a turret dive where Ryze ended up picking up a double kill. If we can actually get this clip up on our screen, this was a really key moment because Ryze had been farming, but he was babysitted a little bit, and he needed this to come back into the game. Let's just roll this clip. Link, talk us through it.
So pretty much they find Evelyn in the jungle. Lisa's kind of being really aggressive, and I'm not sure why. Yeah, Snoopy flashes forward, and this is kind of a really bad situation to be in because, I really don't know what they're doing. Like, they're just kind of diving recklessly, and Ryze just is basically going to get a free double kill. And at this point, this kind of seals the game because Ryze, if he's able to ever get farmed in the early game and pick up kills like that, it's incredibly hard to come back, especially when you have a Soraka on your team and you have Evelyn invisible pressure. So it just allows Ryze to just ramp up and farm really, really hard. And you can see that he had a 20-minute Seraph's Rod of Ages and a Merc Treads, and that's incredible.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually how in game one, Inox was the beneficiary of kind of a gank, snowball the game on Jax, and here Yuzuki gets babysat a lot and then ends up taking over on Ryze. It still wasn't entirely over, though. There was a nice turret dive try by Evil Geniuses and was probably the nail in the coffin. It was about 18 minutes into the game. If we can pull that clip up as well, just to see exactly why it went wrong. Aframu, take it away.
So Snoopy jumps in here and they look to kill Yuzuki because he's the primary target usually over here. So they cut him off with the Crepo and Yuzuki flashes with the wall and his team backs him up. And then you have Soraka who just makes your bruisers super fed, and Yuzuki gets a heal and just turns around and wrecks face. And now EG is on the run. Kez flashes forward because they know they're going to win this fight. They have the momentum in their favor. And Pobelter, damn that ult.
Not quite where it wanted.
And Cloud9 Tempest just cleans up after this when their whole team backs them up. So it was a very poorly executed dive by EG there, and Cloud9 Tempest just capitalized.
And meanwhile, you have the top laner, Altec, taking bottom tower. So
yeah, he really was a top laner this game. Really isolated playstyle. He ended 6-2-4, but that was off of really passive play. It was strange watching this game early on because Cloud9 Tempest was really saving their flashes. Do you think that was some type of mindset they have that they might be over now that they've won game 2?
I still feel like they are kind of playing that passive, but I feel like Cloud and Tempest, just from watching them play, I think if they get the momentum going, that they're just going to be more and more aggressive, and they're going to play much, much better, and they're going to be more confident in their plays. And it just seems like just watching that game, like game 1 was just like a warm up. Game 2, they're getting into the groove, and maybe game 3, if they can get their picks again, then they'll be really strong. And I know EG is kind of a team that kind of likes to tilt time to time, so it's really important that they don't lose their momentum from game 1, and they just kind of think about their picks.
Yeah, it was a 36-minute victory for EG in game 1, now a 32-minute defeat. If you're EG right now, Aframu, what do you try and do, picks and bans wise? What are your priorities coming into this game now with your first pick again?
Honestly, I would take away Soraka from Bishu, because it's really easy for them to hold mid lane with that, and Bishu's just been doing really well in the first 2 games, and so you want to take him off his comfort pick right away. And instead of banning Morgana, I would stop banning Morgana, ban Soraka, and then I would look. You have to be really good at mind games now in this series, because they're going to try and force 2v2 this game. I expect them to go bottom when Cloud9 Tempest is purple side. So you just have to be... I think EG has to invade and find out where they're going to go in their lanes to be able to get the 2v1.
Yeah, and as far as predictions for this next game, little bit, who do you predict and why quickly?
Honestly, after watching that game, I think Cloud9 Tempest, I think they found what they need to do. And honestly, it's kind of just like they need to bring EG down to their level, and it's just bring them to solo queue. And if they're able to
create
do that,
chaos, just try and stop with
exactly. Like if they just take away EG's objective controlling base game style, then it's really easy for because I still strongly believe that Cloud9 Tempest has stronger individual laners. So if they can do that, then I think they'll win.
After you called the last one, who you call here?
I looked at EG's faces and looked like they were having a bad day, and their mood is really down right now, so I'm going to have to go with Cloud9 Tempest.
All right, double Cloud9 Tempest for the picks, but we have to take a 3.5-minute broadcaster cooldown. The series is tied up with 1 win each. After the break, we'll jump into Game 3 between Evil Geniuses and Cloud9 Tempest. Do not go anywhere.